Before the world knew her name, Amira Lockett was just a 29-year-old admin assistant, quiet, smart, and always early to work. But for 6 months, she'd been enduring something darker than most people could stomach. And when she finally found the courage to speak up, they didn't protect her, they punished her. Amira worked for Wright & Lawson, one of the most powerful marketing firms in Chicago. She wasn't an executive or a flashy creative director. She was the backbone of the operation, the one who scheduled the meetings, managed the calendars, picked up the slack when others dropped the ball. The glue that held things together, and no one noticed. No one ever does. She didn't complain when she stayed late, didn't push back when someone else presented her ideas in meetings. She didn't even say a word when the VP of Strategy, Chase Donnelly, started getting too friendly. At first it was subtle. "Nice dress, Amira. That color looks real good on you." Then came the looks, the touches, the lingering in empty hallways. She tried to let it slide. She needed that job. Her mother's dialysis treatments weren't cheap, and Amira's insurance was the only thing keeping the lights on in their apartment. So she smiled, stayed quiet, and prayed it would stop. It didn't. What started as compliments turned into coercion, late-night texts, inappropriate jokes during team lunches. "Amira, that color looks real good on you." Then came the looks, the touches, the lingering in empty hallways. She tried to let it slide. She needed that job. Her mother's dialysis treatments weren't cheap, and Amira's insurance was the only thing keeping the lights on in their apartment. So she smiled, stayed quiet, and prayed it would stop. It didn't. What started as compliments turned into coercion, late-night texts, inappropriate jokes during team lunches, comments whispered close in the elevator. One night he cornered her in the parking garage, leaned in too close and said, "Loyalty goes a long way," until the day he slipped up. It was a Tuesday. Amira got to the office early, like always. She opened her inbox and saw a company-wide email from Chase, routine update about strategy meetings. But he'd accidentally attached the wrong file. It was a voice recording, and in it, he could be heard laughing with another executive, bragging about breaking in the new girl in admin. Her name, said out loud, twice. Her hands trembled as she played it again and again. She didn't cry, not yet. She just stood up, walked straight to HR, and handed them a flash drive. "This is harassment." They smiled, nodded, thanked her for coming forward, said they'd investigate. They never followed up. What she did get was a termination notice 2 weeks later. Violation of professional boundaries. They walked her out like a criminal. No exit interview, no severance, no explanation beyond corporate jargon. Chase, he kept his job, got promoted. The emails vanished. The flash drive misplaced. She was erased. But they underestimated her, because Amira wasn't stupid. She had backups. At first she spiraled. Days blurred together. She couldn't find work. Every interview ended with awkward silences when they realized where she used to be employed. Her lawyer told her it'd be a tough case. It's your word against theirs. But she had evidence, real evidence. And one sleepless night, Amira opened a burner Twitter account, handle at Justice for Amira. She uploaded one email, the one where Chase wrote, "I could make your life a dream or a nightmare. Depends how cooperative you are." Within hours it had thousands of retweets. The next day she posted 3 more. The meeting invite Chase sent titled "One-on-One, No Interruptions." The HR chain where they said her complaint sounded like a personal matter. A screen recording of him texting her at 2:17 a.m. saying, "Wear that red dress tomorrow. You know what it does to me." And the internet exploded. #fire, Chase #Amira, deserves justice #Wright, and Lawson exposed. Journalists came knocking. Other women from the company came forward, anonymously at first, then bravely, publicly. Some said Chase harassed them too. Others said they were told to be cool if they wanted to keep their jobs. Amira's DMs filled with messages from women thanking her. One said, "He cornered me in a parking garage. I thought I was crazy. You made me feel sane again." News outlets picked it up, at first local, then national. The New York Times ran a piece, "The Silence Culture at Wright & Lawson." The company tried to play cleanup, released a corporate statement about re-evaluating their internal policies. But it was too late. Chase resigned, quietly but under pressure. The head of HR was placed on administrative leave, and Amira got a lawyer. A real one this time. Tasha Morrow, Civil rights firestorm. She took one look at Amira's evidence and said, "Oh honey, we're not suing for just wrongful termination. We're burning the whole damn house down." Depositions followed. Executives fumbled behind lawyers. Amira sat straight-backed and unshaken across the table from the same people who tried to erase her. When asked why she leaked the emails instead of trusting HR, she looked them dead in the eye. "Because I trusted you once, and you showed me who you protect." The first settlement offer came quietly, $1.2 million, with a strict NDA. Amira refused. Tasha laughed. Eventually they agreed to a higher figure, 7 digits, but only under Amira's terms. No NDA, public apology, donations to women's advocacy organizations, and complete reform of internal harassment reporting. But Amira didn't fade into the background. She founded the Red Dress Initiative, a nonprofit that helps women document harassment, find legal support, and hold corporations accountable. In the first year alone, Red Dress helped over 400 women file complaints with evidence. Amira never wanted fame, never wanted a fight. She wanted a job, a little peace, a life where she didn't have to be afraid just to work. But when the system tried to silence her, she didn't break. She recorded everything. She told the truth. And when they fired her, she fired back. And when the emails leaked, she wasn't the one who lost everything. There are always people who ask, why didn't she just stay quiet? People who say, it happens everywhere. People who say, you're making it a bigger deal than it is. But those people forget, for every Amira who speaks up, there are hundreds more who don't, because they're scared, because they're alone, because they don't know they can fight. Until one woman stands up and says, enough. And when she does, the empire falls. They told her she wasn't done, and they meant it. After the 5th anonymous email, Amira stopped sleeping. Not really. She'd close her eyes, but her mind would keep running, sprinting through every face at Wright and Lawson, every file she ever opened, every secret she thought was safe. The Red Dress Initiative was supposed to be her redemption, her rebuild, but now, it felt like a target on her back. The breach changed everything. That confidential file taped to her door. It wasn't just any client. It was a woman named Janine Rucker, mid-level exec, filed a complaint against Chase a year before Amira ever started at the company. Her case lacked evidence. Her contract terminated. Her silence bought. Amira found her number, called twice. No answer. On the 3rd ring, a voice finally picked up. "You need to stop digging," Janine said quietly. Then the line went dead. That's when Amira knew. Janine wasn't the only one they buried. She started combing through old Red Dress emails, the ones sent in late hours, the ones with no names, no locations, just pain. Dozens of women with stories like hers. One of them stood out. Subject line, "I think I'm being followed too." Amira opened it. It was from a woman named Tia Clements, a former marketing director, fired after filing a complaint against a partner at the firm. 2 weeks after she sent that email, Tia vanished. Her LinkedIn went dark, her number disconnected. No news reports, no missing persons, just silence. Amira started to feel like maybe this wasn't just about harassment anymore. Maybe it never was. Maybe Chase wasn't the disease. Maybe he was the symptom. She took the printout of Janine's file to Tasha Morrow, her civil rights attorney. Tasha flipped through the pages, silent. "This was supposed to be encrypted," Amira whispered. Tasha didn't look up. "You keep your files on local storage." Amira shook her head. "Cloud, protected, 2-factor, biometric." Tasha looked her dead in the eye. "Then someone didn't hack you. Someone had access." That night Amira changed all her passwords, wiped her drives, pulled Red Dress offline, took everything analog, paper files, lockboxes, burner phones, and that's when it hit her. Someone close was leaking her data. She thought of Kendra, her assistant, loyal since day one, but new, quiet, whole, always stayed late, always asked about server access. Too much interest in tech for someone who claimed to hate computers. Amira planted a trap. She uploaded a fake client doc, complete with a fabricated story and confidential tag, labeled it sensitive, do not share. 48 hours later, it was posted to a men's rights subreddit. Whole. Doctored screenshots, Accusations, claims that Red Dress was falsifying stories to destroy men's reputations for clout. And in the metadata of the screenshot, Kendra's IP, Amira didn't confront her. She didn't fire her. She waited, watched her, tracked her logins, took photos when Kendra met with a man in a gray suit outside a parking garage downtown. That man worked for Wright and Lawson's crisis management division. So this wasn't paranoia. This wasn't ghosts. It was a full-scale operation. And it wasn't just about silencing Amira. It was about discrediting her, disbanding Red Dress, erasing every win. Tasha came to her with a plan. We need to go public, she said, all of it. The breach, the sabotage, Kendra, everything. But Amira hesitated. Red Dress wasn't just her story now. It belonged to the women who trusted her, whistleblowers, survivors, some of them still working inside the system, feeding her information. If she exposed everything, she might blow their cover. If she didn't, she'd lose everything anyway. She made a choice. She wouldn't just go public. She'd go strategic. She reached out to a friend, Keon, an investigative journalist turned digital vigilante, the same man who helped leak the first batch of Chase's emails. Together they built a secure site.
Not just a leak.
A full-blown expose, timelines, audio files, screenshots, a paper trail linking Wright and Lawson's HR department to a private intelligence firm. They called it the Quiet Machine. Amira didn't just post her story, she posted everyone's, redacted names, protected identities, but made one thing very clear. If I go missing, check this site first. And people did. Within 24 hours, the Quiet Machine had over 6 million views. Within 48, congressional subcommittees were tweeting about an internal investigation into corporate suppression of harassment claims. TV anchors were calling Red Dress a digital Me Too revolution. And Amira, she was back in the spotlight, but not for fame. But then came the knock. 3 quick taps, middle of the night. She looked through the peephole. No one, just an envelope on the ground. Inside, a photo of her mother, sitting alone in a dialysis chair. Timestamped 10 minutes ago. Her hands shook. She called her mom. No answer. She called again straight to voicemail. She called Tasha, then Keon, then 911. By the time she got to the clinic, her mother was fine, asleep, unharmed. But when Amira asked the nurse about visitors, she said, yeah, a man came by, said he was family, just sat with her for a bit.
Wore a gray suit.
That's when Amira realized this was no longer about silencing her. This was about breaking her, not with lawsuits, not with smears, but with fear. So she did the one thing they never saw coming. She held a press conference. No lawyers, no PR spin, no corporate language, just Amira, a microphone, and the truth. They threatened my mother, she said. They watched my home. They tried to erase me. She paused. And if you think I'm scared now, she smiled, then you never really understood why I wore the red dress.